Going on. One of our guests today, Jeff Vexler, longtime sports talk show host on WOAI and Ticket 760, longtime Spurs Game Night React, among other things. A huge Spurs fan, great guy. He's going to be joining us. Janice Rosnowski from Operation Comfort, which just does wonderful things for our troops. She's going to join us, I think, pretty much out of the gate. And we'll talk about everything going on. Hey, this one's kind of interesting, and I'll probably talk about this during the show. Oh, among other things, I got on my mailbox yesterday. I get my Sports Illustrated. You probably can't tell unless you look closely. That is LeBron James looking at his smiling reflection in the Larry O'Brien trophy, because we don't have nearly enough LeBron James covers of Sports Illustrated. So that was sweet. Just nice. Just recovering from my Spurs trauma and my Spurs hangover. And then that shows up in my mailbox. Then I get the Express News this morning. And I think I said this on the show yesterday. My thoughts watching that filibuster by Wendy Davis, my thoughts were A Star is Born, even though I had heard of her before and even though I knew about some of the stuff, including some maniac throwing a Molotov cocktail through her office window. That's the headline of the Express News today. A Democratic star is born. It's interesting. You got to kind of watch what you do. And one of the captions next to this photo of Wendy Davis, Republicans acknowledged that in the wake of the Fort Worth senators' filibuster on the last day of the special session, they now have a, quote, Wendy Davis problem. They've helped to create a new superstar in the Democratic Party in Texas. Campaign contributions are flooding in to the Texas Democratic Party, to Wendy Davis, to the National Democratic Party. Kind of interesting how things work out. And, of course, Governor Rick Perry now calling let's do it again. Let's have another special session. I looked up, by one account, these special sessions cost Texas taxpayers around $880,000. What's money? Cough it up, Texas. Cough it up. All right. Spurs. We'll talk with Jeff Vexler about this. Spurs are going to be in the draft tonight. They have the 28th pick. 28th pick, not that exciting. However, there was once they got a guy named Tony Parker with the 28th pick. So you never know. Your future MVP and finals MVP and star of the team could be drafted tonight. And Tony Parker now has 3 rings last time I checked. Could have had 4. Some may say should have had 4. Yeah. Well, we're on, but we're not. Janice, I apologize. I was good to see you again.
Nice to
And
see you
I came off the elevator and I saw you and I walked. Like, okay, I know who that is, and now I know who you are.
You know, that's okay.
But
I didn't even notice who was around me. And I said, well, where's Fox? And they said, oh, just follow him. That's Chris. And I went, oh.
Oh,
I'll go get
that's
some
fun.
water real quick.
Have a seat here, and then Vanessa's probably going to come in, and we're going to go. And I apologize. I want to bring you back and talk more with you. We kind of overbooked the show today.
That's all right.
So we got like about 15 minutes. So
That's a lot.
We'll start at the top of the hour. We'll do about 15. But I'd love to have you on longer. And I mean, you do such great work.
Thanks.
And what is the website?
OperationComfort.org.
.org. Okay. For some reason I was going to say .com, but
Yeah,
.org.
no, nonprofits are usually .org.
Gotcha. How have you been?
Fine, busy.
I guess that's good?
Yes.
Busy good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Keeping the guys busy.
Yeah.
Keeping me busy, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And as far as, support for Operation Comfort and donations, is that all
We
going well?
always need that. We
Okay.
always need that. In fact, one of the things I'd like to talk about today is we're planning a bike ride in 2014, the end of March, the beginning of April in 2014 in Vietnam.
In Vietnam? Oh,
In
my
Vietnam,
goodness. Okay.
In honor of our Vietnam veterans.
That is amazing. What an
the-
idea.
Yeah, and Chris, thank you. It came to me in the middle of the night because, our guys, our wounded guys of today, have received so much
compared to
from our Vietnam veterans, because you cannot scratch the surface very deep before you find a Vietnam veteran very quietly out there doing something. And so anyway, I believe in circles, and so it's been on my mind for quite some
love
time
that idea.
that I needed to create something to open up the opportunity for our wounded veterans of today to say thank you to the Vietnam veterans.
That's fantastic.
Because really through the pain and suffering of our Vietnam veterans, our guys are better today coming home, because they've really taught, Vietnam veterans have really taught Americans how to treat their returning combat soldiers.
I want to make sure, Travis, you ready? Okay, so I want to come back and pick that, because while we do things a little unusual compared to TV or radio, because it's the internet. We're live now, and that was just live. And part of the reason we do that, some people come to the site early, and if their watch is off, if they think it's 10 and the show's not going yet, they might punch out, and we've seen that. So we started early, but the actual real show is going to start right now. So, gosh, I just love that idea, and it's got to be so... Here we go. All right, Talk Now SA on a Thursday, June 27th. I'm Chris Duell, along with Vanessa Macias, who is going to join us shortly. Some very, very special guests on the show today. And wow, in a moment, Janice Rosnowski, the executive director and founder of Operation Comfort. She just told me something before the show started that I love it. It's such a great idea for our troops, our wounded warriors, and for Vietnam veterans. Wait till you hear this idea, and it's more than an idea. It's going to happen here in Military USA, and it's actually going to happen on the other side of the world. She'll tell us about that in a moment. Joelle Sauceda is here as well, going to tell us about deer antler spray and antler velvet max, and it's been kind of a weird thing ever since Ray Lewis, and kind of controversial, and he's also involved in doing great things for the troops. Then Jeff Vexler, if you know sports in San Antonio, you know the name Jeff Vexler, longtime sportscaster, both on 1200 WOAI and Ticket 760 here in San Antonio, longtime Spurs Game Night React anchor, one of my favorite guys ever in broadcasting or in San Antonio. He's going to join us as well. Big show today, and let's get right to it. Janice Rosnowski, the executive director and founder of Operation Comfort. I imagine many of you know what Operation Comfort is, but Janice, number one, welcome. Thanks for being here. Number two, for people who are brand new and tuning in, and we always get new viewers, and we get viewers not only from South Texas, but from around the country and around the world, Talk to me a little bit about Operation Comfort. If someone doesn't know what it is, what is it?
Operation Comfort is a nonprofit organization, a 501c3. We organized in 2004 specifically to help our wounded service members coming in from Iraq and Afghanistan, recovering here at BAMC, SAMC, and also the Audie Murphy VA Hospital. And so we have lots of sports programs. We do family financial assistance. We have, in our sports programs, we have amputee surfing or adaptive surfing. We have a sled hockey team that the Rampage sponsors, and we have hand cycling. We just did a 420-mile bike ride from Paris to London.
Oh, my goodness.
With the British wounded troops, because we pair up with them. We go on their cycling trips. They come on our surfing trips.
Tremendous.
It is tremendous. And so then we have a program called Automotivation, where the guys can build cars. And we're trying to find a new space for it right now. And so we just do whatever really the guys want to do. They tell us, and we...
And you make their lives so much better. And you, as you mentioned, a lot of athletic events and activities. And before we talk about the next big thing that you just told me about, for people who don't know, and I've had the privilege of talking with you on the radio a few times the last few years, how did you get involved? 2004, this all begins, Operation Comfort. By the way, the website, operationcomfort.org, and I know we're going to put it up on the screen a couple of times, but what inspired you to begin this?
Well, I was a flight attendant for American Airlines, and we were flying the troops in and out of Kuwait City 03, 04, and 05, and I did 14 missions. And when the first group, the 24th Marines from Saginaw, Michigan, and Toledo, Ohio, stepped on my airplane, they have no idea how they changed my life. But they did, because all I could think of as an American citizen were these men were going into combat. And this was just a couple of days before the war started. By the time I got back to stateside, the war had started. And so I thought, what on earth can I do for them? So one thing led to another. I visited them at Lunchtool Hospital on my layovers in Frankfurt. I took them gifts, and then when I realized that they were coming to BAMC, all you heard was Walter Reed, Walter Reed, Walter Reed. When I realized they were coming to BAMC, oh my goodness, well then I had to visit them at BAMC. Then I started asking them what they wanted and needed. They told me. And so and they always made sure that they said, well, we don't need anything, ma'am. We're being well taken care of here. I'd say, but there must be something you want.
Yes.
And so then they began to tell me. And I told them, I said, I'm not promising you I can get it.
Yeah.
But I talked to a lot of people, and there might be a chance that I can get it. Then they told me they wanted to ride bikes. I said, how are you going to ride a bike? You're missing a leg. And then they said they wanted to surf. How are you going to surf? You're missing a leg.
Yeah.
And they told me hand cycles and water legs and all that. And so I said, well, all right, let's go for it. So now we've raised some money for 25 hand cycles and 14 road bikes, 4 trikes are recumbent. We do 2 surfing trips a year. Triple amputees go surfing.
How wonderful that
bilaterals
they can go surfing.
Bilaterals do handstands on the surfboard.
Yeah.
You know, you can do it. They can do it. So anyway, it's all good.
I love what you do,
Thank you.
and I come from a military family. My dad served in World War II and in Vietnam. I had a brother who was a fighter pilot. They've both passed away. They're no longer with us. But I grew up just loving and appreciating the military. I actually went to the Air Force Academy. Didn't graduate. Went for 2 years in college. And I just really felt close to the Air Force and to the military. And my biggest problem with this country, and I know a lot of the military and the Pentagon and a lot of people do everything they can, but I don't think we do enough for our troops. We wave the flag, we say we support the troops, they go, they serve. In some cases they are wounded, in some cases, as you know better than anyone else, severely. I don't think we're doing enough to take care of them. And what I love about what you did is you stepped up and you said, okay, how can I help? And you formed Operation Comfort, and you are, and I think this is the way it must be done. I think the government has to do whatever it can. I think we need to lobby and petition and support the government in helping wherever they can. But private citizens such as yourself should help wherever they can. And if somebody doesn't have the resources or the wherewithal to create their organization, like Operation Comfort, they can contribute to yours monetarily. They can volunteer. There's a number of ways we can all help out, because I think those of us who did not serve or have not served, I think we owe a huge debt to those who have answered our country's call, and this is one of the ways we can serve. Now, I'm moving kind of quickly because we've only got about a total of 15 minutes with you, which is like 7 minutes left. You told me about, I mean, you do all these great programs. You have just gone to Vietnam to do some scouting. You've got another big idea on the horizon. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, our Vietnam veterans have done so much for our wounded soldiers, Marines, sailors, and airmen today. You can't scratch the surface very deeply before you find a Vietnam veteran out there very quietly doing something.
Yes.
And they never got the thanks that they deserved. And that's been weighing on my mind because I've seen a lot of them. And so I thought, well, what on earth can I do to create an event so that our wounded soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen, our wounded guys today will be able to stand up and say, thank you. Mm-hmm. We appreciate your service and your dedication, and we want to give back to you. And the way we're going to give back is, I thought, in the middle of the night I woke up and I thought, we'll ride Vietnam. And I said, what? And the other part of me said, we'll ride Vietnam. And I went, what? And then the other side said, we've got bicycles. We can ride. And then
my goodness.
And I thought, well, then there has to be a fundraiser. Well, what are we going to use the funds for? And I thought about how our guys could touch an individual Vietnam veteran. And so I thought, we'll raise the money to send the Vietnam veteran back to Vietnam that's always wanted to go, but never had the funds. Now, some guys will say, I never want to go back. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back.
Sure.
But there's others that have said, I want to go back. I want to go back to where I was to see if I did make a difference.
Yes.
To see the country. Because when they left Vietnam, it locked in their mind, their vision, the way they left it.
Sure.
Bombed, defoliated trees,
yes,
you name it. And so that's the vision they have in their mind. I went back, and I must have been talking to Marines when I was saying, okay, well, where were you? And so they told me where the different, they were in different battles. And so I planned my route around that. Well, now I come to find out that it was divided up in 4 parts of the country: I Corps, 2 Corps, 3 Corps, and 4 Corps. 4 Corps being the south, I Corps being the north, just south of the DMZ and just below Da Nang. So anyway, that's the way I planned the route through the A Shau, Da Crom valleys. That's the Ho Chi Minh Trail up to Khe San, Dong Ha. So I went back to see this route, and I went, oh my goodness, it is not an easy route.
I would imagine.
It's not going to be easy. But anyway, we're trying to raise $10,000 per rider.
Okay.
Because $5,000 will go to cover his ground expenses, transportation over there, bikes, all that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then the $5,000 will go to send a Vietnam veteran back, and I've already started a list. People say, how are you going to choose them? I'll find them. And I don't choose them. They tell me if they want to go back. And if they want to go back, they're on the list.
They're on the list, and they're kind of self-identifying themselves.
Yes.
Something that occurs to me, you talk about, and having never been to Vietnam, but having seen all the footage from the era, a lot of it is rolling countryside and jungles, and you talk about how difficult this bicycle ride would be. Mm-hmm. Vietnam veterans, I mean, I'm 52, and I was too young to go to Vietnam. So Vietnam veterans are at the youngest in their late 50s, I would think predominantly in their 60s, and some of them in their 70s. I mean, these aren't young men who are going to go on this bicycle ride. I mean, that's one of the factors to consider here.
That's right. Well, see, on our bike ride, it will mainly be our wounded today, although I have a couple of Vietnam veterans that do want to ride.
Oh, so I see. So today's wounded veterans will do the ride.
However, first ride.
Coming also to Vietnam will be Vietnam veterans.
Yes.
Now I get it.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there is a group here in town, San Antonio, called the Vietnam battlefield tours.
Okay.
They're Vietnam veterans. They've been taking Vietnam veterans back to Vietnam for a long time now. And that's who I went with, because it just so happened they were doing the exact route that I was going to ride.
Okay.
So we're going to pay them. Say, okay, after all of our fundraising is done, we've got X amount of money, and this will send X number of Vietnam veterans back. And what I hope to do is, a Vietnam veteran might want to take his son.
Sure.
Or his daughter.
Yeah.
Or his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Or his brother. So I would really like to, so that would take $15,000 then.
Yeah.
Because if we're planning on giving 2 tickets away. But anyone who wants to have some fundraisers for us, that would be great. They can dedicate the money to our Vietnam bike ride. We're leaving March the 28th and coming back April the 8th. We're riding, we'll fly into Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City. Then we'll go up to Da Nang. Then we'll start riding out of Da Nang down to Hoi An. And then we're riding up to Dong Ha. We're riding over to Khe Sanh, down the Ah Sha and the Da Cron Valleys.
My goodness.
Yeah. And
You're
then,
going all over Vietnam on bicycles.
Yeah. And then we'll also going to Hoi An and A Lui, and the Vietnam veterans will know those towns.
Yes. Well, and Janice, I want to make sure we get the website out for people who want to learn more and they want to contribute, be a part of this. I love the idea, and we are going to bring you back and spend more time with you and explore this further. And I apologize that we're just kind of touching the surface of it. Do they go to OperationComfort.org?
Yes, and then if they want to read more about what we're doing, they can go to Get Involved. And then it'll have the Vietnam bike ride. They can click on that, and then
is that a .com or a .org? Get involved.
Get involved.
Oh, on the site.
On the site.
Okay. Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Get involved on the site. Okay.
And then it'll have Vietnam bike ride, and then they can click on that and read more about it. And Joel is working with us to reformat our website so it's easier.
And we're going to talk to him in a moment.
Yeah.
And is Joel? Is he?
He'll be writing. He's one of our advisors.
Okay, so he's with Operation Comfort.
Yes, he's
as well.
an advisor to Operation
Well, we're going to hear
Comfort.
from Joel next, and Janice Rosnowski, the executive director and founder of Operation Comfort. Please come back. We'll block out more time to talk about this. I love the idea.
Yeah.
I think this will be so enriching and nourishing and healing, not only for current day wounded warriors who have been in Iraq or Afghanistan, but certainly for Vietnam veterans and their families.
Yes,
I think it's a win-win
back.
for everybody, and for those of us who support it and contribute to it.
Yes, and may I just say one thing? This Sunday is the After Rad, is the Color Me Rad 5K run at the Freeman Coliseum. There's an After Rad party and in the Freeman Coliseum, and part of the proceeds will be donated to Operation Comfort. So if you're a runner, come out there and run in the Color Me Rad. It's Color Me Rad 5K, and then come to the party afterwards. That's this Sunday.
This Sunday, Freeman Coliseum, the Color Me Rad 5K run, and then the after party. Portion of those proceeds will benefit OperationComfort.org. I urge you. I've talked to Janice a few times over the years and just been amazed at what she and this organization is able to accomplish, and it is so good for our returning wounded warriors. And you can just tell by talking with her, her heart is so pure and so dedicated to this cause. Janice, we will talk again soon. Best of luck. Thank you for being a private citizen, an American citizen, standing up and doing what you can do to help our returning troops. I think it's fantastic.
It's an honor and pleasure and the best thing I've ever done in my life.
And keep on doing it. Quick break. We talked about Joel Sauceda. We'll talk with Joel a little bit later. Jeff Vexler, what's next for the Spurs? I say, and it hurts, I say the Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili era, as far as going to the finals, is pretty much done. I think the odds are stacked against it happening again anytime soon. We'll see if Vex agrees with me. We'll debate that and more a little bit later in the show. Right now, huge Spurs fan and a huge Spurs sponsor, Manrique Custom Vision, Richard Doinoff, along with Cassandra Lazenby of Daytime at 9 on KABB Fox 29. She's also a patient, a recipient of the Z LASIK procedure from Manrique Custom Vision. Check this out. And we'll be right back with you. Stick around. Thank you so much. That is way cool. I want to, because we didn't say it on the back end, Richard Doinoff and Manrique Custom Vision not only sponsors this show, sponsors your show, Daytime at 9, and you had the Z-LASIK eye thing that I did.
I got to talk about this because people always ask me, are you really, is this for real? I couldn't see, I couldn't drive. I was trying to read the prompter, and I was doing this thing on my eyes. And I was like, why am I making that face, on air? It's because I couldn't see the prompter.
Wow.
And I had that Z4, it was like this, in and out. I had a glass of wine, I think, afterwards. I went to bed, I woke up.
You were partying afterwards.
I
You were fine.
She had like a watch party. Did you not have a watch
I had a
party?
watch party, people were watching me. I could see.
People were watching you get your eyes done?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she had a party.
Yeah, she did.
But Vanessa, things that I had never seen before.
Mhm.
I walk out of Manrique, and I'm like, there's like a Superman on top of that roller coaster at Fiesta, Texas. I've never known that.
Like, there is an
I'm like,
E on that chart.
yeah, I had never seen those things, and it's so funny what you miss
Yeah.
when you can't see. And now the best part is when I go to Spurs games, I can see them on the court. And before I used to be like just watching the monitor, but now I can actually see the court and the numbers and who's doing what. And before I was like guessing who made that shot, and it's awesome.
It is way cool.
I absolutely love it. It's life changing.
I just got mine done too.
Taylor just
I've had
got
it done
it.
for a month now.
Get out!
And I would say Spurs games too are like the best thing ever because I never wanted to wear my glasses and
And she has such beautiful eyes.
my
Yeah,
eyelashes
she's
are
gorgeous.
too darn long, so I'd always take them off and squinting like, is that? Oh, he's not even on our team. That's
What
not
about
those aren't
Colin
our
and
team
a half?
colors. But
What
Her
about
eyes are
Colin
too
and a
beautiful.
half?
And,
She's
oh,
like,
her
my
eyelashes are
lashes
too
are
darn long.
2 feet long.
they are. They would like. I have to wear my glasses down here and look at people like. I always make fun of my dad for that, by the way, because he
Yes.
puts his reading glasses and he's like, looking like that. So.
She's fantastic. We're talking about Janice Rosnowski, and just an amazing lady. And I love the story of, and Joel Sauceda, we're going to meet him now, doing it as well. An American citizen who stands up and says, how can I help? How can I help the troops? Again, whether you're in the military or you're a part of a military family or not, if it were not for the brave men and women who answer our country's call and serve in the military, we wouldn't be here enjoying the lifestyle and the amazing lives that we lead. I mean, we got cell phones, we got all the comforts. I mean, even if you think life's funky for you. I mean, if you've got, I walked out into this parking lot yesterday in the Weston Center, and it was so hot, and I was thinking, what did we do before air conditioning? Here I'm bitching.
No joke.
And we got air conditioning in our cars, air conditioning in our homes and offices.
And people walk around half naked now.
Yes, sometimes you, which we applaud when you do. So anyway, let's a little bit later. Jeff Vexler is going to join us right now. Joel Sauceda is the CEO of Max Life Direct, and Joel is involved in a number of things. And you got the antlers on, including
These are my Texas Ranger antlers since they beat the Yankees yesterday. But
thank goodness they beat the Yankees.
thank goodness.
I hate the Yankees,
I
and they're fun to
these.
hate.
Anybody
It's
wants
fun to
free
hate the
snacks?
Yankees.
They're free snacks. I'm loving snacks today.
In addition to Antler Velvet Max and deer antler spray and hummus that Vanessa brings in, Joel also works very, very closely with OperationComfort.org. Joel, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Tell us about, you, CEO of Max Life Direct, but who is Joel and what is your life about right now?
My life's about marketing. I've been in the internet marketing business now for almost 13 years.
My goodness.
And I'm known as the .com guy out there. My license plates actually on my car say .com.
Cool.
So I enjoy it. I love reaching out to people all over the world. I've made connections everywhere. And as you know, with technology like you showed here, you can do things like this on a grand scale. So it's very exciting, but I also like marketing tangible products. And one of the products that I came across about 6 years ago is deer antler spray, before the world knew about it, before they were making these kind of contraptions.
And
here.
before Ray Lewis kind of made it even more popular. Yeah.
Right. And as fate would have it, I actually met the guy who brought deer antler spray to the Western world 17 years ago. He's my manufacturer, and he's actually responsible for Ray Lewis using the product.
No kidding.
Yes. So I thank Ray Lewis. I'm a Denver Bronco fan. In fact, the day the Broncos lost, I cried. I mean, I'm such a fan. But then a few weeks later, when Ray Lewis, all this happened, I was thanking Ray Lewis.
Well, I mean, that's just killer. But
Nice.
So what is deer antler spray? I mean, we heard so much about it, especially around the Super Bowl, and there were so many communications about it, I suppose, because everyone thinks it's illegal, and WADA was all up in a bunch about it. So tell us about it.
Well, deer antler spray, antler velvet, has been used for over 2,000 years by the Chinese for medicinal purposes. And, the Chinese found a lot of things, that we use today.
Yes, they did.
And they used it for a lot of different things, libido, longevity, all those different things. But about 17 years ago, my manufacturer, along with a scientist out of New Zealand, found a way to take this velvet and put it into a liposome spray. And what it is, antler velvet, contains IGF-1, insulin growth factor 1. Not to get technical, because I'm a CEO, not a doctor.
Yeah.
But basically, IGF-1 is a natural hormone. It's found in the body. We get it from mother's milk when we're kids, and we get it from meat, steak. It's just in higher concentrations in this spray. And as we get older, like I'm 41 years old, it gets harder to recuperate from working out or from anything else. So that's because our IGF-1 levels decrease as we get older. So what this does over time, naturally, it increases those levels. And that's what Ray Lewis did. Ray Lewis got on a high dose of IGF-1 through my manufacturer who provided it to him, and that's why his tricep was repaired. So it's not only Ray Lewis. I mean, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have been using our product over the years.
Well, it's deer antler spray. Where do you spray it? Because, he wouldn't spray it on his tricep.
Right. You spray it under your tongue.
Under your tongue.
Under your tongue. And the reason you spray it under your tongue is because these scientists that work for our manufacturer actually found a way it penetrates the mucous membranes and gets into the bloodstream faster.
Okay.
So rather than taking pills, there's pills and capsules out there, but it's such a low rate of absorption that you don't really get a benefit. So with the spray, it's a higher dose.
How often? Now you're hold up. I want to make sure we see this bottle. How often? It just looks like a spray. If you remember years ago, the breath spray was kind of that size of a container.
It's like Banaka.
Banaka. That was a big thing before Altoids. But there it is. All right. How often are you spraying it under your tongue?
3 times a day.
3 times a day.
3 to 4 sprays under the tongue. You let it sit for about 10 to 15 seconds after you've sprayed. It's got a lemon lime taste. It's got a good taste. And you swallow after that. And, you can't take too much, but you can take too little.
Okay.
So, I have athletes. I have pro athletes. Actually, Hulk Hogan's on my product now.
Nice.
We text back and forth regularly.
Didn't you cross his path recently?
Because of him.
Okay.
And so with Kat, his publicist, I was doing PR with TNA. That's the new wrestling organization that he is part of. And also remember Sean Hernandez, the guy who came in on Bikini Day?
Yeah.
Imagine he came in on Bikini Day. And I had the weirdest interaction with Hulk Hogan. He was like, "You tell that friend of yours thanks for the deer antler spray." He's like, "You got it, brother."
His text messages sound that way too.
That's great.
And they're not audio.
His thumbs do it. His thumbs grunt. But, Hulk's a big guy. He's an older guy. He's still very, very huge. I mean, his name's Hulk.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he has to live up to that. As a woman, if I'm going to take a substance like something like this or some kind of enhancement product, I don't want to look like Hulk Hogan.
Sure.
I don't really want to look like Brooke Hogan. I kind of want to look like me. Is that going to make me bulk up?
Absolutely not. This is not a steroid. Doesn't have the effects of a steroid. It's nothing like that. You have IGF-1 in your body just like we do, men and women do. So what this is going to do is it's going to help your body repair. I know you work out, you do different things like that. It's going to help you repair your muscle tissue and a lot of other things. It's not just building muscle. A lot of people, I know my manufacturer at one time, he provided it to the MS Society because it was helping some of these MS patients.
No kidding.
So there's a lot of, the story was, the reason he got into this was his cousin had Lou Gehrig's disease, and he desperately was trying to find a way to give his cousin relief from that because it's a debilitating disease.
Yeah.
And he found this in New Zealand and got him on this formula, and it helped him live a few extra years pain-free. So his belief in it grew, and he went from a totally different business into this business. Mm-hmm. So it's like anything else. When you believe in something, you run with it. And it's his passion. It's my passion now. I'm just blessed to have met him 6 years ago and to have the opportunity to have my own label. Because being in the internet marketing world, I know how to reach out and touch a lot of people. So that's where my advantage has come in, as I've made a lot of contacts around the world who use the product.
And your label, Antler Velvet Max, as I'm looking at the label, all right, what does it cost? If I want a bottle What is it going to set me back?
Well, there's two formulas. This
Okay.
is this formula here is our strongest formula. It's a 15,000 nanogram formula.
Okay.
The other formula is 7,500. The lower dose is we retail it for
I'll put these here.
for $39.95 on our website, and the
Okay.
higher dose we retail for $69. There are several other companies out there trying to sell the product now. That's one of the challenges we're having. My manufacturer brought it to the Western world 17 years ago. As soon as Ray Lewis came out and all of this happened, about 10 other companies popped up. And all of a sudden they have all this and that. So we really, that's been our challenge, is educating the public. Because
Okay.
when people get on a formula that works, my manufacturers, mine, they get a result. Not instantly. Sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's a month, depending on where their levels are. But people, they gravitate towards it and they love it. And like I said, we've been selling it for 17 years. So our goal is to educate the public and say, don't take water in a bottle. Take something that's real.
Yes.
And don't judge it by something that's out there for just the profit. Of course, we're all in this. We're in the business. This is business.
This
you know?
is how people live. You've
Sure.
got to make some money with your product. All right, $39.95. You get a bottle of this. How long will it, if I'm doing 4 sprays 3 times a day, how long will a bottle last?
About 30 days, 25 to 30 days.
Okay, so for about $40 a month, maybe a little more, depending on how much you use it, you're getting the benefit. So for
Absolutely.
about 40 to $50 a month, you could probably get the benefits from this.
And I tell people, and again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, but this is what I do. I got off of B12 and some of the other vitamins, because there's people, I used to have a pill box full of vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
I got off of the B12s, except for the fish oil. I'm still on that. And I replaced it with this. And so this is convenient, carried in my pocket with me. It's a conversation piece, and it's just a lot cleaner.
Now you, and again, just for health benefits, you mentioned fish oil, and my wife is a big fish oil believer. She gets like the pharmaceutical grade fish oil. Why fish oil? What are the benefits that you see? Knowing, you obviously pay attention to fitness and health.
Sure.
Why do you stick with the fish oil?
Well, there's so many studies out there, but I'm concerned about my heart. In my family, there's a lot of heart disease in my family, so I take it for the heart. It's good for the skin. There's all these. I don't eat fish. Anybody who knows me, I run away from restaurants with fish or any kind of seafood, although I love fishing. But so to take a
Now, why? Okay, I got to stop you. Why don't you eat fish?
I had a bad experience when I was a little kid.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I take a lot of fish oil, but this is my staple product here. I'm a big believer. Whether I own the company Max Life or not, I'd be taking this product, which I was before I owned Max Life, because I was taking my manufacturer's product. But
What kind of data do you have to back up, how people feel and how much people like it? 'Cause I know when you Google something, when you Google any product, the water in the bottle
Sure.
guys are going to kind of skew the results, and they're going to kind of skew the data. So do you have any data, or is there any data that you would find more reliable than something else that's out there?
well, actually, Antler Velvet is on WebMD. There's a lot of research. There's research out there on Antler Velvet. As far as the way I gauge it is through my customers. We're in a very tough economy right now, and people aren't going to spend $40 or $80 on a product if it doesn't work.
Sure.
Because it's a luxury. So I see it because my customers are coming back and they're repurchasing month after month. We don't have to strong arm them. We do very little promotion to them. They come back to us. And most of our sales, although Google is a good way, and we've done a lot through there, is word of mouth and referrals. So that's the way I gauge it, Vanessa. I know I've got a doctor right now who's using the product, and he's actually wants to put together a baseline study. He's a big believer. He's here in San Antonio. But those are some things that are going on. But the proof's in the pudding, 17 years of this being out on the market, and only getting better. My manufacturer keeps coming out with incredible stuff, because this scientist that he has over there, it's just incredible, the things that they're coming out with.
Well, and I did want to talk, I know we're running out of time, but I did want to talk a little bit about the MLB conflict that you had, and also WADA finally approving it. So what are your quick take on that?
I think a lot of it comes down to misinformation and money. I think if we had billions of dollars to put into maybe sponsoring Major League Baseball or the NFL, it'd be all over their scoreboards and everything else. it's really misinformation. They said some things, disparaging things about our product. Major League Baseball did. And in fact, we had a lawsuit against Major League Baseball that was filed a couple of years ago. But you know what? What are we going to do against a multi-billion-dollar organization? Our sales did go up, but they also affected our sales. It also scared some people off from taking the product. So I'm a believer right now that it's the truth is coming out, and there's a lot more press that's going to hit in the next few months. In fact, my manufacturer, he's on top of it, Neutronics Labs. He knows what's coming out, and he's been all over the media. I mean, he's really been the one out there taking the arrows and spearheading this whole thing. And so we're very grateful as one of his distributors, because they did try to paint our product as a bad product. And now, all of a sudden, once WADA turns it around and says it's okay, now the NFL tries to say, well, it didn't have, or PGA, it wasn't doing anything for anybody. Well, what was it doing back then?
Right. Yeah, so why did you have an issue?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I've got pro athletes coming out the woodwork right now. I don't give away.
Any golfers?
I got several golfers.
Can you give some to Romo? Can we please get Romo?
I've got free product.
Will it minimize interceptions late in the fourth quarter when the game's on the line?
I don't know. It's not a miracle in a
Romo,
bottle.
take some Velvet Antler Max, please. Just especially fourth quarter. Just a couple of hits before you run out onto the field. We want to bring you back, as we told Janice, because we're a little short on time today. But if people want to learn more or get the product, what's the best website?
Maxlifedirect.com.
Maxlifedirect.com.
And we give everybody who purchases a bottle gets a free wristband. I brought you guys a
cool.
I brought you, and I also brought you all
right now.
a couple of bottles to try.
Sweet.
And we also, for every bottle we sell, we donate $1 to Operation Comfort.
Love it.
And so far, since January, we've raised close to $14,000.
Nice.
Good for you.
Thank you, Ray Lewis.
Well, thank you, Ray Lewis. And thank you, Joelle. And again,
Words no one's ever said.
Here you've got a business and a product you believe in. You use it. It's benefited your life, and now through your company, I love you're giving $1 for every purchase to Operation Comfort. That's fantastic.
Higher purpose.
And thanks for having me here.
We'll do it again.
Helping us get the message out.
We'll do it again, and we'll continue our drive to get this product to Tony Romo.
Yeah.
All right, Joelle Sauceda, once again, Maxlifedirect.com. Go learn more at the website. Get some, try it, and people.
I've tried it.
You have.
And I tried it in March.
What difference did you notice?
I don't know that I took it long enough, but I did sprain my ankle in March after tucks and tennies.
Yeah.
Because I was running.
Yes.
And I was taking it to see if it would help me heal faster. And I honestly, I don't blow smoke, but I honestly think I did.
Super.
And I had this the weird plantar fasciitis thing going on. And I totally think it worked.
Very nice. Endorsed by Vanessa Macias.
And I agree with these lovely
Antler
arms.
Velvet Max. Go to maxlifedirect.com. Our thanks to Joelle Sauceda. Joelle, we'll do it again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Best of luck to your Broncos.
Thank you.
Best of luck to Tony Romo, too. Sorry about that. Quick break. Manrique Custom Vision, our title sponsor. Learn more about him right now. Jeff Vexler next. Are the Spurs done? What will they do tonight in the draft? What's next for the Spurs? What's next for Jeff Vexler? Newlywed, if Facebook is accurate.
He likes a show
Jeff
called
Vexler.
Princesses.
We'll talk about that.
Just saying.
Princesses with Jeff Vexler next. Take a look at this.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks so much.
I brought you.
I'm here with Richard Doynot from Manrique Custom Vision. Richard, tell me, why is LASIK so important?
Well, LASIK's important for a couple reasons. The main reason is a lot of people don't know that contacts can actually do more damage to your eye than LASIK ever has. The contacts, of course, are setting on the surface of your eye. They can actually make indentations on your cornea surface. If you're fortunate enough to be in torics or the hard contacts, those, of course, the toric are for astigmatism. They have a weight on them. They go around your astigmatism, they grip real hard. Sometimes it actually causes dry eye. The hard contacts mash down the surface of the eye to make you be able to see properly because your astigmatism is so irregular on the surface of your eye. But at any rate, it does leave indentations on the front of your eye. Some of them can be so damaging that it will cause you not to ever be able to do LASIK or any other procedure. So Dr. Manrique can do your LASIK procedure totally blade-free. We do correct the surface of the eye so you can see just as good or better as you do out of your glasses and contacts. So if you've been thinking about the LASIK procedure, give us a call now in the beautiful shops of La Cantera.
Thank you, Vanessa. Chris,
Thank you so much, Joe. Absolutely.
Awesome.
We'll do it again.
Thank you.
How are you?
Unbelievable. Look who's here. Come on in. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
I need a picture here with you guys. Is that okay?
We'll do it. Can we do it in just a few?
Chris, can I put this here, or should I put it somewhere
You put it wherever you want.
You brought a computer?
I did.
We're in.
That's where you say no.
Yeah.
I did.
It's okay to watch people sit down. I'm cool with it. Jeff Vexler is here. Great to see you. I don't
Great
wanna
to
knock
see you
over
too,
your Mac.
Chris.
I want to take this.
Vanessa, how you doing?
Good.
Awesome. Is that okay? I missed the last segment. Is that good for women too?
According to Joelle, yes.
It made me horny.
It made Vanessa horny. You should have said that when he was in here. It makes Vanessa horny.
I'm sure he's heard that joke 1,000 times.
So you should get some of this, and when you go on a date, say, "Hey, lift your tongue."
It's good for libido.
Jeff
Is that what it
Vexler.
is?
I'm newly married,
Look,
so
can I see that?
that's the
You want some more
sleeper.
hummus?
You don't want that. Yeah, I do want hummus. I'm hungry.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
And
much.
here's some literature.
I'm going to take it off the air.
I'm
yeah,
taking
yeah.
it.
I don't want us all getting horny here in the final
I took it
20
in
minutes.
March. I started taking it in March,
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
And?
and I totally think it worked.
How's
I
your
rolled my ankle,
libido's
and
fine?
my libido's off.
Is your okay? Because if not, we know
just
some
not getting
people who
anywhere
could
with it.
work with you.
My libido isn't the problem.
All right, got to start here. Jeff Vexler, I worked with him many moons ago at WOAI, and he was on Ticket 760 and 1200 WOAI. I said this then, I say it now, and especially coming through a Spurs season. And I go all the way back to Terry Stembridge, the first ever Spurs play-by-play guy, started in 1973 when the Spurs came to town. When you did Spurs radio, and you did a lot of on WOAI, you did Game Night React, you did a lot of things on OAI and Ticket 760. Nobody, in my opinion, was more entertaining than you, or as informative. You were so passionate and so knowledgeable, and if you've got that, you also have to have entertainment value. I used to, I would stay up, and that was back in the day when Game Night React would go late into the night and get a zillion phone calls. It was the greatest show in the world, and as a Spurs fan, it was tremendous.
It wasn't hard to get people to call.
It was lit up.
You'd be surprised how many Spurs fans stay up for like 3 hours after a game in the middle of December, worrying about why the Spurs lost to the Hawks.
Yes.
I mean, it's really a big deal. But thanks. I really learned it from watching you.
I don't know about that.
I did. You
From
brought.
you, all right. I learned from watching you.
yeah.
You remembered that reference?
No.
I learned it from watching you, Dad. That was great. You were doing your thing, I think, with Charlie at the time, possibly, and I was like a lowly intern and running around the news studio and watching you guys, and you always brought the juice. And I always thought, if I ever get a shot on the air, I'm going to make sure that every day I bring the juice.
You did. You did.
I'm not even talking about this, right?
Not Ray Lewis juice. Not
Roger
Mark
Clemens,
McGuire.
brown bag juice.
Not Mark McGuire juice.
But yeah, it was such a blast.
Yeah.
And admittedly, Chris, I mean, look, I got to that job by just loving the Spurs.
Yeah.
So when I stopped doing the job, I did not stop loving the Spurs.
Exactly.
And this, I'm going to be totally honest. This is the very first time I've been able to actually talk Spurs since the loss in the finals.
Wow.
I have not been able to contemplate this. I've not been able to digest. I'm not totally true. Last night I did show prep with two buddies of mine over pints of Guinness. That's show prep, right?
Yeah.
When you're talking Spurs, and that was pretty much the first time I've been able to open up about it.
Well, but you did open up on Facebook. I remember right after Game 6, I got home. And what was great, it's like I used to love getting Jeff Vexler's reaction after every Spurs game. So I go home after Game 6, and you had a post, and you can fill in the blanks here, but it was to the effect of, I love Kawhi Leonard. However, I don't know if I can ever forgive him.
It was Danny Green.
It was Danny Green.
Oh.
It was Danny Green. I don't know if I can ever forgive him for not reacting and boxing out and going and getting that rebound.
We might have to put it on your website because I found a replay of it last night, and it's on the possession with 30 seconds left when LeBron gets the open three. Danny Green's supposed to be guarding him and is not for whatever reason. He gets a wide open three, misses, LeBron does. But then the ball goes loose. Danny Green is at midcourt picking his nose.
Oh, God.
And I love Danny Green.
Yeah.
But he is napping on the job and just has a total brain cramp.
Didn't bring the juice.
No, he did not bring the juice.
And if he can get one rebound at this moment,
it's over.
We're celebrating.
Game series, 5 titles. It's all over.
Yeah.
LeBron and his mystique and the Miami Heat and how great are they? We wouldn't be hearing anything about that.
You would be hearing his Spoelstra the guy right now.
Exactly. And Chris Bosh, bye-bye, and his Dwayne Wade Dunn and all of that. And it's amazing how the narrative can change so quickly based on something so minute.
Now it's the Lord God looking at his reflection in the Larry O'Brien trophy. Now it's and I'm like you though.
I can't even look.
No, I was starting to pull.
It's like narcissist.
I was in a total
freaking
funk.
Drowns in the freaking Larry O'Brien trophy. I hope he drowns in it.
No, but like you, when the Spurs lost,
Narcissistic asshole.
I could not watch. I refuse. I could not watch Miami celebrate. It's like I couldn't watch. I turned it off. I was at OAI. I turned it off. And then when I get home, I could not watch post game. I saw everybody on Facebook going, "Oh my God, did you see Tim? It was so sad. His post." And I go,